I woke up today with an overwhelming premonition that the feds were onto me and ended up army crawling while scavenging for food. Eisenhower has graciously supplied me with my daily dosage of gravel, so at least I'll live to see another sunrise. Anyway, I have a family to feed, so I'd better get to work. I'm making a story-based shooter with fully destructible environments and started implementing the actual level I planned out a while ago. Thanks to Godot's grid map system, this is pretty easy to do because I can just make these cool little tiles and lay them out like I'm playing Minecraft, which is pretty nice. Speaking of tiles, this map is starting to look like my grandpa, so I'd better make some new tiles to inject some life into it. So I went downstairs to the tank and used my annual 1 minute of thinking privileges to create this little contraption to record myself drawing. Anyway, I started sketching out some new tiles to put into the map. I made a windows and I made 2 door tiles which I can flip to make the full door. Since I had just made this revolutionary and incredibly innovative idea, my ego began to pierce the heavens, so I made a few more tiles. This one's a sign, I think, and the other one is the logo for the energy company thing. I went back to working on the map, but after a few hours my eyes started to hurt a bit from not sleeping at all last night, so I just decided to go on a walk for a while. After my walk I had a sandwich for lunch and then went back to blocking out the map. I continued blocking out the opening section for the game and finished up the poverty zone. Since this game is set in a comically exaggerated 1920s thing and I wanted the theme of the story to be about how power can corrupt people, I wanted to make the rich and politically connected people live far better lives than the less fortunate. However, since the game is still in a post-war apocalypse and I don't really want to ruin the setting, I figured I would just try to make them look like they're trying to live on a higher plane, but I don't know how to do it, so I gave up and decided to go draw some more instead. A while ago, some guy tried to beat me up with a book. Luckily I avoided that scenario and got a cool book out of it as a souvenir. It's basically just a bunch of drawing exercises to do, and I've been making a habit of doing a few every day as I'm going to be the only one making art for the game. There's a good chance I'm going to be doing the music on my own too. I tried to get some very talented people to do it for me, but I'm not sure if I can afford them, so I'm going to try and teach myself tomorrow. But it's getting late now and I'll be in the mines again tomorrow, so I'm going to sleep. This morning I was out of milk and was forced to not violently shatter my jaws and had to eat toast like a normal person, which will probably have some bad effects later down the line. Anyway, I'm being held at gunpoint to get this map done by today, so I'm going to work on it now. The main thing I need to do is the fancy people area in the shopping district, which shouldn't take too long. I have work in a few hours, but I should be able to get it done by then. And it's done. There's now a fancy frontier which looks nicer than Peasant Park and has some new stores blocked out. I'm being dragged to work now, but I should be able to keep working when I get back. I got back from work and I think I'm going to try and teach myself music using bofa coils. 1 hour later and I've created what is effectively a flashbang. I think there's been like 80 laws passed against me already this week, so I can't show it to you. Sorry about that. If this video does really well, I'll go into weapons manufacturing and we'll show it to you guys. Alright, so most of the core mechanics are done and the last one I need to complete is the randomly generated levels. I made a system to make levels for me not too long ago and just decided to recreate that in Godot. I went through a few iterations before I finally settled on this one, which is just an invisible circle that moves around, destroys every tile it sees, and explodes occasionally just to make things kinda look like rooms. I'm pretty sure the player could just dig through most of the level and ignore all my hard work like how my parents ignore me, but whatever, it's fine for now. It's a bit bumpy, but that could make the combat more interesting, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I'm going to make the floors and ceilings farther apart so you don't end up like Icarus, and was probably going to put lava on the side so you could shove people into them. I went to the store yesterday and finished what my dad couldn't, so I can have some grape nuts today, which should have enough iron in it to deflect any bullets set in my direction. Since I created this quote-unquote algorithm for random levels, I've been using this big rectangle thingy. That was all fine and dandy in previous drafts of the game, but now that the game revolves around breaking these little blocks, this is pretty impractical. I'm too lazy to just make a bigger one, so I went online hoping to find some stuff or some kind of fill command for the grid map system. Unfortunately though, I came back with holes in my hands, so I guess I'll have to create one myself, which shouldn't be too hard. All we really have to do is have 3 loops inside each other and just have them fill the according tile with a random block. I did just that, but now there's literally 1 million blocks. For reference, that's more blocks than I have brain cells, and it's starting to take a toll on the frame rate. So I had to cut it down by 50 by 50 by 50, which solved the frame rate issues, and everything is working fine now. But now the grass is starting to threaten my domination in the height department, which leaves me in a scary position. See, on one hand, if I let it grow, I'll be harder to spot, but if I don't cut it, they'll be onto me. I decided to cut it so I can get stronger before I fight. Anyway, after I was done mowing, I tried adding lava on the outside. Eventually, I got it working and used the door texture as a placeholder. But if my mom walked in right now and saw this, she'd grab the stick and I would be done, so I'd better make some placeholder lava art. I think this looks like hot garbage, but it'll have to do for now, I guess. I tried to make it kill the player upon contact, but I couldn't figure it out, so I'm just going to ask on Reddit and then fix that tomorrow. We're skipping most of today because I was busy this morning and didn't get home until around 2 o'clock. Anyway, I did make it so the lava can kill the player now. I did get an answer from Reddit, but it didn't work, and that forced me to come up with the dumbest solution imaginable. Basically, we strap an invisible bullet to the player at all times, make it rotate in a random direction, and then have it try and break a block. If it finds a block, it checks whether or not it's lava. If it is, kill the player. That's it. This is a really dumb implementation and will come back to bite me later, but it should work for now. Anyway, the funny little watcher on my ankle ticks down for every second I spend not editing this video, so I'm going to work on that now. It should be done by tomorrow, which would be pretty nice, I guess.